And hello. Hehe. Welcome for those. Thank you so much again to the raid of Mikumi. Arigato. Hello. Are you ready to hear some creepy pasta, some creepy stories? Megane. Hi. I'm wearing some. Welcome for those. Ojo, Sama-san, thank you for modding. There's some midday creepies. I want some angy pata. Angy Catto. Not angy poto. Hello, dude. I'm not here to make magic, but it would be magic if I could make you fall asleep while I'm reading a horror story, you know? Are you ready to eat some creepy pasta? But just kidding. Creepy pasta is not really, you know, a creepy pasta as in food, but it means, you know, those copy pastes, those kind of messages long ago that you have to send over to your friends, like, you know, messages you would read as a spam. Like, if you don't send this over to your 10 friends, you would die or something like that. So that's how it was made. So creepy plus copy pasta. So that was the story of where it came from. Yeah, a chain email, something like that. So these stories were written for fun and to like make you feel like, is it really true? Maybe this was real, or you know, just something that you could listen to for scary stories to make your brain get spooked. Nyarigatoo. Hi. So I loved listening to creepypastas or reading into them back then, and I used to sleep onto it. I don't know why, but I did. So welcome, Pertos. You're in for some creepy reading. This is gonna be my first time I'll be reading on stream. This gonna be like a practice for me. You listening in bed? Anyone else? Wait, let me welcome everyone. Mojo, Sana-san, Kami-sama, Q-Talk, Rev. This is gonna be a good storytelling. I'll do my best. Oh, Mojo, I totally forgot. Happy Oshi Day. He will always be my Oshi. Aww. You're so sweet. Thank you, Mojo. I'm happy and grateful. You wish you were in bed. You're working, no? Oh, at least you get to listen to me telling you some stories, so I'm accompanying you while at work. Hello, Bongers Bear. And hello, Fifth Lord Aito. Miranai, Nainalus, Terak, Wakamu, Aidonyo, Boss Original, Wakamu, Nirasari, Konbanwa, Bouvard, Komikasu, Count Crispy, Ace, welcome. So, if I started reading this now, I would be able to talk with chat, so I would be continuously reading for Puerto's successful diver talking about hell divers. It's time for some spoopy scary. This might be this first one I'm reading. It's gonna be a long one. I could reach 30 minutes or so, and I'll try to read it slow so I could properly pronounce it, since I kinda have a hard time pronouncing words sometimes. But I'll do my best, and I'll pause for some time to catch up and hydrate. Yeah, words are scary. They are. They make my tongue twist. Listening to me now. Thank you. Do you like my setup? I'm like reading you a story to sleep, or it kinda also look like I'm giving you a therapy. A horror therapy. You're like hearing due date. Oh yeah, that's scary. Or like, how do you say, like you're getting cut off? Yeah, like MMK or something. But I kinda like it though, like giving you therapy or something. Dear Ate Catto. Although I do wanna hear some real horror story from Peritos though. Does Angy like scary movies? I do. I do love it. Although I'm the kind of from member streams and we watch movies and stuff. I always have something to say though every time. I don't know why. You love the setup? Thank you. If we're successful with this, if Brittles like it more, maybe I'll do more creepypastas. Do you like scary movie series? I think I do. It's for some soothing kind of movies? Trailer? Maybe, yeah. Wait though, let me hydrate first. Spooky movie watch along? Oh, I don't know any movie though. But that could be great. Yeah, that could be great. We could do it. We can do it. This is hard. This is gonna be hard, but I'll do it for Praetos. Hehe. Oh. To be honest, I did not get to read the whole story of this one. Of this creepypasta that I'll be reading. Like, I should be practicing it, but I did not. So maybe it will also spook me as well. This is gonna be a long one. Anyways, so the title of this creepypasta is called The Diner's Special. This is made by Angelina Gut. Yeah. I think this one is a really good one, and I think it won an award or something. I'll be linking it afterwards. So, The Diner's Special. It's funny how tales like this cling to you, worming their way into your mind, gnawing away, festering like a wound. They say truth is stranger than fiction. But sometimes the stories we pass down, the ones we whisper in shadowy corners or over drinks at seedy bars, are more chilling and grotesque than any proven fact. This is one of those tales. A fable, sure, but one that sits far too close to reality. Told by those who find comfort in the macabre, and believed by those who understand that the scariest monsters are always human. Ever heard of Helen? Helen, the lonely gaunt old woman who ran that ramshackle diner out on Highway 22. The one no one seems to remember until their car breaks down right in front of it. Yeah, that diner. The one that looked like it was barely hanging on, just like Helen herself. She'd been running that place for years, way past its expiration date, and it had worn her down mentally, physically, emotionally. The regulars were mostly truckers and occasional passerby. People too tired or too drunk to care about the grime coating the counters or the smell of burnt grease. Helen herself was a fixture behind the counter, her face locked in a permanent scowl, her hands shaking from a mix of age and exhaustion. It said that one Halloween night was when it all changed for her. When something finally snapped. The details vary depending on who's telling the tale, but they all agree on one thing. By the end of that night, the world had shifted in some imperceptible way, and Helen, well, Helen was never the same. Not that Helen was ever innocent to begin with. Far from it. Life had beaten her down long before that night. By years of slaving away in a diner that should have been closed long ago. But she kept going, grinding her bones into the linoleum floor, pouring what was left of her soul into greasy plates of food for truckers and worn-out locals who barely noticed she was there. She wasn't a saint, and she wasn't kind. You'd have to be half mad already to keep going with a place like that. She was just stuck. Too tired to stop. Too scared to let go. She persisted, for reasons that defy common sense. Hope? Or maybe just stubbornness. A lot of people call it hard work, but sometimes that's just another word for being too scared to give up. And that Halloween, it had been a miserable day, as most of her days were. The diner was dead, just like the business had been for years. No customers, no cars pulling into the gravel lot. But Helen's regulars? Oh, they showed up like they always did. A couple of worn-out truckers, grumbling about the coffee, and that group of teenagers. The type you can picture, the entitled ones, full of themselves, treating her like a servant they didn't even have to pay. Like the world owed them something just for existing. They'd been coming in for weeks, making her life hell with their obnoxious laughter, sneering faces, and cheap orders. Every night, they leave a mess, spill soda on the floors, scribble obscene things on the napkins, pushing every button they could find. And every night, Helen would clean up after them, swallowing her rage like spoiled milk. But on that Halloween night, they might have just gone too far. They'd torn up the menus, thrown food on the floor, and when she finally asked them to leave, one of them, some punk kid with a smirk too big for his face, spat at her feet. She stood there, staring at the spittle on her worn-out shoes, her hands shaking with something she could no longer swallow. The crack inside her widened just a little, and then a little more. But still, she didn't lash out. Not right away. She kept it together. Because what else could she do? What do you do when your life is nothing but a series of humiliations, day after day? She muttered the same mantra she'd been repeating for years. Just one more night. As if that would make the suffering worth it. She'd always believed in that idea, that if she could just survive today, tomorrow might be better. But some nights it just doesn't seem worth it, does it? So, she locked up, cleaned the mess those brats had left behind, sweeping broken dishes and mopping up soda while her body moved on autopilot. Her mind, though, her mind was somewhere else entirely. She didn't notice the door tingle when he came in. She hadn't heard a car pull up, hadn't seen anyone approach, but there he was. He was no drifter, not like the truckers and transients she was used to. There was something off about him. something that made the hairs on the back of her neck stand on end. No, this man, this thing, was tall with greasy hair and clothes that looked like they'd been stolen from a corpse. But it was his eyes, those empty black eyes that seemed to devour everything around him, like they saw right through her. "Can I help you?" she asked, forcing the kind of smile that comes out like a grimace. The man sat down at one of the booths, his movements slow and deliberate, as if he had all the time in the world. "Yeah," he said in a voice so low and gravely it seemed to vibrate in her bones. "I'll take your special, the one that isn't on the menu." For a second, Helen just stared at him, her mind struggling to catch up. She didn't know what to say to that. I mean, what do you say to someone who looks like he's asking for a soul on a plate? But here's where it gets interesting. Instead of sending him on his way, she hesitated. Why? Maybe part of her liked the idea of breaking the rules, of giving someone exactly what they wanted, even if it was something she wasn't supposed to offer. I don't have a special," she stammered, her voice thin, almost pleading. "Just the usual burgers and fries, meatloaf, breakfast all day." "I'm not looking for any of that." His eyes narrowed as he leaned forward, his voice like the scrape of a blade across stone. "I want what you keep hidden away, the flesh that's fresh, unspoiled." Her blood ran cold. She blinked, trying to make sense of what he was saying, but the words didn't fit into anything that made sense. "Flesh? I don't know what you're talking about." "Oh, I think you do," he interrupted, his voice dripping with something darker than mere hunger. "You know exactly what I want, and I think it's time you serve it." For a moment, time hung suspended in the air. The crack in her mind widened, and then something slipped through. In that moment, it wasn't fear that seized her. It was curiosity. The kind of curiosity not gnaws at the back of your mind, that asks you just once to break the rules. What if? What if she gave him what he wanted? She wasn't a good woman, the rule follower, the one who always did what was right. That had never been her. No, the temptation to give in was almost natural, more comfortable, like slipping back into an old habit. "I can't," she whispered, her eyes flickering towards the kitchen as if searching for a lifeline. "I don't have anything like that." The man didn't move. He just sat there, watching her, like he knew the struggle inside her and was waiting for it to resolve itself. "Then you better get some," he said, his voice soft, patient, terrifyingly calm. Now, she should have thrown him out right then and there. That's what any sane person would have done. But she wasn't sane. Not anymore. Weeks of dealing with those nasty kids, months of watching her diner fall apart, years of enduring the slow decay of everything she'd built. It had worn her down to the bone. I'll see what I can do," she said, like she was talking to any regular customer, like she was making him a damn cup of coffee. The air grew thick, heavy with the tension that made it hard to breathe. She glanced toward the kitchen, a mixture of dread and intrigue gnawing at her insides. She went to the back, and I imagined that old kitchen must have felt like a tomb. The fridge was nearly empty, just the usual scraps of old meat. Leftovers that had been sitting too long, remnants of meals no one wanted anymore. Nothing that could satisfy the man's request. But as she stared at the meager offerings, the whispers took on a different tone. They weren't telling her to be afraid anymore. You know what you need to do. Her breath quickened. I can't, she murmured, clutching the edges of the counter, trying to ground herself in reality. But the whispers wouldn't stop. Do it. You've done everything else. Why not this? She glanced around her eyes landing on the old shotgun that hung on the wall. A relic from a time when she still believed in safety it promised. Her fingers trembled as she reached for it, the cold metal sending a jolt of adrenaline through her veins. I'll get it. I'll find what you want, she whispered to herself, her voice shaky but determined. The night outside was cold and still, the wind howling through the trees like the wails of lost souls. Helen stumbled into the darkness, the shotgun heavy in her hands, her breath coming in ragged gasps. She didn't know what she was looking for, only that she had to find it. Something, anything. Just a quick hunt, she told herself. Just one sacrifice, and then it'll all be over. The darkness was thick as she wandered away from the diner. The moon, a sliver in the sky, casting jagged shadows across the ground. It felt as though the very earth held its breath, waiting for her to make a choice. In the distance, she heard a rustling, a sound that pulled her closer, beckoning her into the depths of the night. But what was she hunting for, really? An animal, a victim, or the last piece of herself? It didn't matter. She found something. There in the underbush, she spotted a small creature, lost, innocent, perhaps a rabbit or a deer. She didn't know for sure. She didn't care. It didn't matter. It trembled as she approached, its eyes wide with fear. It'll be okay, she murmured, her voice barely above a whisper. Just a quick meal, nothing personal. Her hand shook as she raised the shotgun, the world narrowing to that single moment, the trigger heavy beneath her finger. You'll feed him, she said, her voice rising in urgency. You have to. One shot. That's all it took. The crack of the gun shattered the stillness, and with it, whatever humanity Helen had left. Helen stood over its crumpled, lifeless body. The deafening echo of the shotgun blast still reverberated through her skull. Its eyes were wide, frozen in the final moment of terror, and its blood slowly sipped into the dirt beneath it. A sacrifice to something greater than herself. She didn't even know what she'd killed. It didn't matter. She grabbed it by the legs, trying to ignore the wet warmth of the blood now soaking into her apron, and began the slow, agonizing trek back to the diner. Every step felt heavier than the last. The darkness pressing in on her from all sides as if the night itself were alive, watching her, judging her. When she reached the back of the diner, her limbs ached with exhaustion, and her mind was frayed to the point of unraveling. She stood there for a moment, staring at the faded sign above the door, the one that promised "Best Diner on the Highway." A promise long broken, just like everything else in her life. She pushed the door open with her shoulder, the hinges creaking in protest, and stumbled inside. The warm, greasy air hit her like a wall, mixing with the stench of blood and dirt. The diner was eerily quiet, the fluorescent lights flickering weakly overhead, casting long, distorted shadows across the empty booths. And there he was, still sitting at the same table, his black eyes locked onto her the moment she crossed the threshold. He hadn't moved. He hadn't so much as blinked. For a second, she thought she saw a flicker of a smile on his gaunt face, but it disappeared so quickly she wasn't sure if it had been real. The man said nothing. He simply watched as she heaved the limp body onto the counter, her hands slick with blood, her mind racing with thoughts she couldn't control. Helen fumbled with the butcher knife, her fingers slipping on the handle as she began to slice into the creature's flesh. The smell of blood filled the air, metallic and sharp, as the blade cut deeper. She worked mechanically, her movements no longer her own, with a precision she didn't remember possessing, carving away the skin, separating muscle from bone. Each slice was cleaner than the last, each cut more perfect. She cooked the flesh, seasoned it like it was any other meal. Maybe she even hummed a tune while she worked, a tune from her childhood, perhaps. Who knows? Something innocent, though nothing about this moment felt that way. But what was truly disturbing was how right it all felt. As if she'd finally found the missing piece of herself, the part that had always been willing to feed the darkest appetites, even at the highest cost. The meat sizzled on the grill, the smell of blood and burning fat filling the air. "Just a little more," she whispered, trying to drown out the guilt clawing at her insides. He needs this. He'll love it. Was it a confession or a plea? The man sat patiently at the booth, watching her with those unsettling eyes, a predator savoring the scent of blood in the air. "Good, you're doing well, Helen," he murmured, his voice wrapping around her like cold fingers. "Just keep going." As she plated the dish, a sense of triumph or euphoria swelled within her. "You'll love it," she said, her voice trembling but resolute, as if she was trying to convince herself as much as him. "I promise." The man leaned forward, taking the plate with a slow, deliberate motion. His gaze remained locked on her, a connection that felt too intimate, too invasive. His eyes never left hers, and she knew, without him saying a word, that she had given him exactly what he wanted. He took a bite, his eyes closing in rapture. So rich, so delicious. Helen felt a surge of satisfaction blossom within her, twisted, an ecstasy that filled the void of her sanity. She couldn't help but feel a sick sense of pride. She'd done it. Isn't that what she had wanted? What we all want, deep down? To be recognized, to be appreciated, even if it's for the worst parts of ourselves? As he devoured the meal, a creeping unease began to unravel the edges of her euphoria. The whispers returned, slithering into her thoughts like snakes, winding through her mind with cruel intentions. "What have I done?" she murmured again, her voice a broken echo. The room felt suddenly smaller, the air heavier, thick with the smell of cooked meat and her own unraveling sanity. The man finished, his lips curling into a smile that felt more like a sneer. "You're quite the chef, Helen. You've outdone yourself," he said with his voice thick with approval. "I've outdone myself." She blinked, the world spinning and warping around her. But what was it? What did I cook? The shadows in her mind whispered cruelly, teasing her with answers she didn't want to hear. "I'll be going now." The man rose from the booth, his movement fluid, unnatural. "Thank you for the meal." His eyes glittered with something dark, something knowing. A pit opened in Helen's stomach, realization just beyond her reach. "Wait, She started, but the words fell away as he turned to leave. He lingered at the door, a shadow against the dim light, a shadow of something far worse than a man. "This is the night you'll always remember, Helen. The night you stopped pretending. The night you finally became what you were always meant to be." And then he was gone, leaving her alone in the empty diner. The room echoed with silence, save for the whispers that still swirled around her, more insistent than before. They clung to her like the grease and red stained on her fingers, like the blood in the cracks of the floor. She stood there, heart racing, unable to shake the feeling of impending doom, leaving her with nothing but the whispers and the weight of what she'd done. She finally understood. This was what she had been all along. Someone capable of anything, so long as someone wanted it badly enough. A manic laugh bubbled up from her throat. starting as a soft, nervous chuckle, then growing louder, more frantic, until it rang out in the stillness, a hysterical broken sound, an involuntary reaction to the madness encircling her. "What did I do?" she shrieked, collapsing against the counter, her body trembling as if it might come apart at the seams. The world around her began to blur, the walls closing in as she sunk deeper into the madness that had been lying in wait all these years. She could still hear the remnants of his praise echoing in her ears. So rich, so delicious. His words echoed through the diner, mixing with the whispers, amplifying the cacophony in her mind. In a moment of clarity, or perhaps madness, she reached for the shotgun once more, the cold metal pressed against her skin, grounding her in the only way she knew how. "It wasn't meant to be like this," she whispered, tears streaming down her face. She lifted the gun, the barrel cool against her lips, and for the briefest second, the diner was quiet. No whispers, no laughter, just the cold, dead air of what was once her life. And as she pulled the trigger, the last sound that escaped her lips was a broken, hollow laugh. It was the sound of everything she had become, everything she had lost. The world faded to black. The shadows consumed her, and Helen became nothing more than a whisper in the dark. Who knows if that part's true? But I like to think it is. After all, some endings just make more sense than others. The man? Maybe he was never real. Maybe he was just a manifestation of the thing Helen couldn't face. The thing gnawing inside her all these years. People say you see what you want to see when the cracks start to show. Maybe that's all he ever was. Her reflection, twisted into something darker, something she could finally blame. After all, the mind has a funny way of conjuring monsters when we can't confront our own guilt. And sometimes, the most terrifying thing is realizing you've been haunted by nothing but your own thoughts. The monster in the mirror. The one that wears your skin better than you ever could. Whether she had truly surfed the shadow of a man or not, she had definitely fed something that night. Something real. Something still breathing. And maybe, when it took that first bite, she realized that the hunger wasn't his at all. Perhaps it had been hers all along. The diner's still there, you know. Quiet, empty. People avoid it now. Not out of any real memory, but because something about it just feels wrong. There's an unease, a kind of sickness that settles in your gut when you drive by. Like something is watching you from behind those dark windows. The neon sign flickers occasionally, though no one's ever seen it fully lit. No one mentions Helen by name anymore. Not directly anyway. Just hushed conversations, exchanged in dark corners, stories shared around campfires with a nervous chuckle. They say Helen's still in there, waiting for what no one really knows. But the blood stains in the back kitchen never quite faded, no matter how much they scrubbed. And sometimes, just sometimes, the flicker of the neon sign isn't as random as it seems. Maybe it's trying to call someone back. Maybe one day the door, though locked for years, will creak open for just the right person. And when it does, maybe that feeling in your stomach won't be dread or fear. It won't be unease at all. No, it'll be hunger. Hey, that was it. That was the Diner's special by Angelina Gott. Hehe. That was a good read. There wasn't much of a meh, crazy monsters or stuff. It's kind of like really hitting the real life. Yeah, it's a good story. The hunger was real. I really like the last, close to the last paragraph. It's talking about the monster. Like it's you. It's a reflection of you. Like wow. Wati, thank you. I hope I did great. How was it? That was my first time reading creepypasta. Or reading a story on stream. Did you get to understand? They do it turning into Hannibal Lecter. It has a scary old woman, which is always spooky. That's true, it's kind of like lunch lady kind of thing. Well, maybe she was the one who ate it. It's about the story of the side we keep holding inside until something snaps and the cage breaks. I don't really think it's creepy, it's just when someone snaps when you push too many buttons. Oh, that's so true. Yeah, I think that's what this is about. When you snap, all of a sudden you just couldn't handle it anymore. It's been years, you bottled up too long. It was like I was in a campfire and telling spooky stories. Maybe someday I'll do it as well. That's why I don't backseat Angy. That's true. So deep your brain can't brain. On you. Everyone is one bad day away to being one. You know what? Helen's mantra is actually, she said it's just one more day. Something like that. Aw. Like, maybe if you cannot handle it today, maybe tomorrow will be better. And that's how she lived. But then, she couldn't handle it anymore. These damn ads be jump scaring me. Oh no! She built up her anginess until she snapped. Hey, I feel like I did snap and I did snap in at some point. Kratos want more? I also have like a a creepy pasta that's kind of funny, but also another one that's also creepy still. I think. How is the background though? You don't like to see me, Angy. Angy transforming probably. Hey, I did transform earlier. I went into as the Sulong. I got my animal transformation from the Silent Hill F. What the? Wow. Okay, wait, let me hydrate first. If you are hearing Kaida or Machi, I'm sorry. I cannot make them, stop meowing. I hope it's okay. I hope it doesn't break the moment. Think you're gonna be a foxy Catto? Yeah, maybe a foxy cat. Yeah, maybe a big foxy Catto. That could work too. A mink. Sula. Okay. We have one. It's. Maybe I'll start it again. With. I'm not good with reading the. When they say something like. How they say, like. When they talk. How they say it? Like, voice acting, that's it. I'm not good with it. It was hard. I do not. I'm not good with that, but I hope. Was it okay when I did? With the diner special? I was like, in my mind, in the back of my head, I was like, wait, will they understand I was trying to voice act it? I mean, not really voice act, but saying the lines of the character. I tried to make it deep. I was like, oh shit, I have to do deep voice. It was fine. Otay. Thank you. Okay, this one. Oh. I am not. With this one. I haven't read this one though. I also haven't, so this is first for me. Wow. You wanna hear Angy talk more like a grizzly man? How would I do that? It was nice. Isn't as easy as it sounds, that's true. Okay. This is called... The next one is called the copycats. This one is a bit shorter. The copycats. This was written by Robert Scream. It has monsters in it. Okay. The copycats. Nobody remembers when they appeared. Some think they have been here since the beginning of time and space. Or at least since the first human existed. Others think they came into existence more recently. I personally don't care where they come from or how they got here. I only really care about keeping myself alive. The copycats. That's what we call them. Most of the time they look almost human, trying to copy the appearances of their last victims. I say almost because they often appear as tall as the streetlights or have big bulging eyes and smiles with too many teeth. Some of them can speak too, sort of as a way to lure us out. In reality, most of them aren't really talking, just reusing things they hear before their victims die. Their mouths never move when they speak, and they never move an inch when they do. But those who can speak don't sound human. They speak in tongues with deep voices that sound gentle, masking their violent natures, calling out for their victims, asking them to accept their fates, to finally accept death and come to them, the Reapers. They like to live in dark spaces, areas where you can't tell if they're human or not. Basements, alleyways, anywhere with a shadow to conceal them. The feds say to keep every corner in the house, or in my case, apartment, bright, and to make sure all doors or windows are locked. Because once they get in, anyone inside will never come back out. I was sure that my apartment was safe, that I could live there forever. But recently, people have been running low on food. They have to risk going outside, opening the doors and letting the monsters in, forced to run through the masses of inhumane faces that flood the streets, growing as restless as we are. I see some of the braver people sometimes out my window. I see them running through the streets only to be devoured by the copycats, who fight over the scraps of the bodies. It's been weeks now. I'm almost out of food. I'm pretty sure the other people in my apartment building have died, either of the starvation or by running into the copycats. I've noticed that the lights have been flickering in the apartments and that the rent forms have stopped coming in. I don't know if anyone else is alive. I don't know how long I'm going to last in this hell. Some people might say I'm the lucky one, surviving this long. Personally, I think it's hell. Watching as people I love die, as the world around me dies, as this new race of monsters climbs its way to the top of the food chain, wiping us out in the process. I'm keeping this journal in case I'm not the only one. In case there are others there who somehow manage to survive against these monsters. In case someone finds me dead or alive. Day 1. I can't do anything but keep the doors locked and keep my neighbor's shotgun at my side. Though I doubt the gun will do anything against them. From what I remember from the news, the military tried to use tanks against them, barely making a dent in the copycats' numbers before being consumed by the freaks. I managed to get into a few apartments and snag some food, but I was almost caught by one of the monsters that got in during the food runs. They know I'm here now. Day 2. I saw one of my neighbors today, or I guess whatever saw them last. I remembered that she was a nice old woman with kind, caring eyes and always helped other tenants with groceries. The kind of neighbor who would show up to your door when you first move in with a plate of cookies in hand. Now she was different, forced to become one of the worst disguises that I've ever seen a copycat use. She stood at around 7 to 8 feet tall, forced to crouch down to not touch the ceiling, and her face was rounded, wider than it should have been. Her smiling mouth was filled with around 20 large teeth, stretching ear to ear, and one of her eyes was impossibly big compared to the other. I ran the other way when I saw her, or I guess it, and quickly closed the door of the random apartment behind me. I didn't have time to lock the door. I could only hold it shut and pray I was strong enough to survive when the thing kept ramming into the door. Day 3. I think it's given up now, but I can still hear it shuffling around outside. I'm gonna wait another day before I go back out. Day 4. It was waiting. It wasn't moving. It wasn't breathing. It was just standing there, waiting for the door to open. How the hell does something stay alive that long? Over 24 hours without a single breath of air. I guess I should count myself lucky that I was able to shut the door. Day 5. It's angry now. I can hear it screaming. It sounds like a human voice mixed with the sound of a guitar getting kicked down the stairs. A loud wail with pauses every 1 or 2 seconds. I managed to hide in the bathroom before I heard the sound of shattering wood. It's in the apartment now. Day 6. I managed to sneak out through the window. Luckily, I was high enough to be out of reach from the flood of copycats on the street. I almost fell several times, but I made it back to my apartment without dying. Day 7. The food started to rot. I was trying to scavenge, sneaking around hidden in the hallway, and found a couple cans of food. Nothing special, just some loosely screwed shot jars of beans, tomatoes, and peaches. Fueled by hunger, I opened one and was immediately hit by the smell. It was horrible, like the smell of an egg after being microwaved until it was burnt. I don't know how long I can keep this up. Day 8. I'm all out of food. The hallways aren't safe, and it's not like I'd risk going through the window again. All I can do now is wait to die from either the copycats or starvation. Day 9. Since I'm probably gonna die here, I think it might be helpful to make a list of as many copycats as I can. How they look, how they act, stuff like that. First off are the hidden. If you remember the neighbor I ran into earlier, they're like that. Barely humanoid figures that hide in the shadows to distract from their appearance, imitating loud noises drag out those who it's hunting. They are usually extremely disfigured, most of them having a permanent smile on their face and stand at heights from 6 feet all the way up to 10 feet tall. They can put themselves into some sort of self-induced hibernation of sorts, where their body cease in any and all activity. This can last for an undetermined amount of time. The longest I've seen this happen for was a day. I think that they do this trick their prey out of hiding. Next are the muttering. They look almost the same as the hidden, albeit smaller, only growing to around 7 feet max. They have noticeably less disfiguration, especially around their mouths, and don't hide in the shadows as much as hiddens do. Instead, they usually stand up motionless, constantly repeating the words of their victims, waiting for someone to see them. If you see something standing and talking like this, and can't tell if it's a person or not, listen to what they are saying. Most of the time, a muttering's voice will change depending on what it's saying or screaming. Common things they said by mutterings are, "Help me. Please don't hurt me. Take me instead." Or they will just stand there and scream for around 20 to 30 minutes. The third kind are what I like to call stalkers. They're some of the most dangerous of the copycats. They grow to around 6 feet tall and can go weeks without eating. They hide behind doors completely still and motionless, and strike the moment the door opens. They have small round eyes on the sides of their heads, leaving room on the front of their bodies for a large mouth that stretches from the top of their head to stomp at the end of their torso. They don't have legs and walk around on their hands when they need to. They don't even look human. Their skin looks like a thick-skinned tomato, red and slimy. If you think you might be trapped by a stalker, I recommend finding anything long and sharp. It might take a few tries, but you should try to stop through the door until you hear it shriek. They normally run away after that. I'm getting tired. I might write some more in the morning. Day 10. One of them got in again. I think it crawled in from the window. I haven't seen anything like this. It's tall. It has to crawl to be able to fit in the apartment. Much bigger than the one disguised as my neighbor. It's talking too. Not random snippets or sentences, but full-fledged statements. Its skin is a dull gray and its face is like a skull. It's wearing what looks to be an old black curtain around it. I heard about these in the early days, mostly rumors, short stories writing about them. I thought they were fake. Publicly, stunts by people trying to become famous. But this is real. A behemoth of a monster staring me in the face. I can just barely make out some of its words. Why do you wait here? Why do you try and survive knowing that we are around every corner when you know that you are the only one left? The one we have been watching for so long. What is it that fuels you? Is it hope? Fear? Or is it something else? Some primal instinct? An urge to survive when you know there's nothing you can do to stop us? all of us from finding a way out of this hell. You were never surviving. We have been watching you all this time, studying you, copying you, learning from your actions. We have been keeping track of every move, sending one of our own to occasionally remind you of the hell you are in. You will never escape this. You will never survive this, because eventually, when we run out of things to study you, when we run out of things to copy, ways to scare and traumatize you, we will kill you. There's nothing stopping us from tearing this apartment to the ground. Nothing stopping us from ripping through every hallway and room before finally finding and devouring you. Body, mind, and soul. This is your prison. These halls are your cell, and we are your captors. Never forget that at any moment, any split second, we could destroy you. The instant you stop being of interest to us. So every second, you better be moving. Because the second you stop is the second that the thoughts you engrave in that little book you so desperately scribble in stop. And with those words, it left. It didn't attack. It didn't kill me. It crawled right back out of the window. I don't know how much time I have left, but I think I should focus less on writing all this down and more on finding out how to get out of here. Oh, that was it, the end of the copycats. Whoa. It was about monsters. I like how they have different types of monsters of the copycats. That was very interesting. They're like zombies but with minds, but very big. It kind of reminds me of those movies. What movies are they? They're like... Quiet? Was it? Those movies that make you, that you're supposed to be quiet. And then there's like big monsters. And then if you make a sound, they can kill you. Yeah, Quiet Place, something like that. Something like that. That was nice. Hehe. Thank you. Wow. Well, this was really interesting to read. You know, some of it are not really that scary. They're just creepy, and reading is really, you know, like how do you say it? It's good to read. That's it. Even though it's creepy, I like it. That was from Robert Scream. It's like the game, no? I'm not human. Wait, I haven't played that game. But also, I don't have the game. Well, that's interesting. Now I want to play it. That was like an eldritch horror. Really? I don't know that too. We'll be dead by daylight if we don't do something. You need to get out. You need to get the generators. I like how they have different types. There's one, it's called hidden, and then the second was muttering, and then the third one, what's it again? I thought there's like 3 of it. Oh, the stalkers. The hidden, the muttering, and the stalkers, and the very last one. It was very smart. It wasn't gonna eat you, it was just hurting you with the words. The behemoth of a monster. To think of it, it's kind of funny, cause some of the the first creepypasta we read, it's like you yourself are the monster. Play Angy, it's unsettling. I'll try. I don't have the game eh, but I'm interested. I also have other horror games that I could play. Maybe I could do a horror horror games. So many. If it was a movie or a series, could have a great potential. That's true. That's true. Yeah, creepy games. I'll try. Okay, I have one last. Everyone knows about this. It's one of the cartoons. Wait, let me hydrate. Okay, this one is the truth behind SpongeBob SquarePants. Knew it. Wait, let me make it a bit small. There you go. It's the truth behind SpongeBob SquarePants. This is a lot shorter. Yeah. Not your favorite dishwashing tool? My favorite dishwashing tool is the, what's that? Mama's? I forgot what's it called. The Mama and Mommy Scrub? So it's not SpongeBob SquarePants for me. But you know what? What if they made a SpongeBob SquarePants Mommy Scrub? That would be nice. You know the Duddy Scrub and the Mommy Scrub? Those? Not the spongy boy. Okay. This one is short. The truth behind SpongeBob SquarePants. I bet you know about the TV show SpongeBob SquarePants. You know, the show about the talking sponge. SpongeBob, who goes on adventures with his dumb starfish friend named Patrick, and the always unlucky Squidward. There's Mr. Krabs, the money grabber, and the scientist karate master squirrel named Sandy. Everybody knows about the show and how popular it is, but they don't know the truth behind it. SpongeBob and his friends are actually the ghosts of humans that forcefully had to take over the bodies of sea creatures to survive. All of them have visions of the buildings and structures from their previous lives. I will now explain the backstories of the 5 main characters I talked about earlier. SpongeBob was originally a kid named Bob. Bob was a nice kid, always helping others and always trying to stay out of trouble. But often he did get in trouble, taking the rap for what other kids did and often accidentally tripping someone when trying to help them. One day, when Bob was 14, while riding his bike, he accidentally went down a steep hill and fell off, putting him in a coma. After 2 weeks, he eventually died and had a proper funeral. And his sea creature counterpart, he still is very nice and still gets in trouble. Patrick was originally a kid named John. John was a couple years younger than Bob, and was actually a close friend of Bob. They lived in the same neighborhood and often played together. When he was 10, he was hit in the head very hard, giving him brain damage and an occasional inability to think. Then for his last 5 years, he was always getting into extreme trouble, often hurting people, and was friendless except for Bob. Then when he was 15, he was having a moment of stupidity and climbed onto the roof. Then he tripped and fell off the roof, which cracked his skull and killed him. And his sea creature counterpart, he still acts dumb and is only friends with SpongeBob. Squidward was originally a kid named Dan. Dan was like the sore thumb, never playing with the other kids, and was always lonely with no friends, except for his instrument and doll. His doll was a teddy bear doll that he named Zippy, and his instrument was his clarinet. Dan has a problem that would eventually lead him to his end. He had a severe heart disease which made his heart very weak. If something surprising happened if he got startled, he would get a heart attack. Then one night he had a dream where Zippy was murdering him, and woke up following him having a heart attack and dying. And his sea creature counterpart, he still gets scared a lot, and his only friend is his clarinet. Mr. Krabs was originally a kid named Jim. Jim was a rich kid living with a rich family. He was a money grabber, often taking people's money and running off with it. He was always behind the rest of the family, being slow and loving piggy banks and cash registers. Because of this, he was laughed at by his whole family, being at bottom of the barrel and being called weird by his sisters and cousins. He also had a pet whale that he would always carry around in a fish tank. His family had a big vault where they stashed all the money, and when Jim was in there, once jumping for joy because of his family gaining $1 billion, 3 huge bags of money came rocketing toward him from a higher level and crushed him to death. And his sea creature counterpart, he still hugs money and has a whale daughter named Pearl, being his whale pet. Sandy was originally a kid named Sally. Sally was what you could call a teacher's pet, always winning the science fairs and often got all A+. Because of her smartness, kids at recess would come all around for her to fix their math problems. She also was a black belt in karate, often beating all her students, and would often be an actual owner of the building. She would also make many custom fireworks, and the country club which would gain her major popularity. Sally was on top of the world until in one of her karate classes, while fighting a master, she got kicked in the chest, breaking her ribs and making it unable for her to breathe, eventually killing her. Even though she isn't a sea creature, in her squirrel form, she was still able to build her tree dome, and still is a karate and science master. There are many other sea creatures, many of them having the soul of dead kids who mourn to see their families again. Maybe one day, that fish will die and will take over the new baby of their mother. Just maybe. Or they will be trapped in a fish body forever alone. And that was it. The truth behind SpongeBob SquarePants. It was the truth about dead kids, ghosts of humans taking over sea creatures. It was dark and sad. Who knows? Dear God. Now you could think something else about SpongeBob stories. I know there's one more, like there's like a video I remember of Squidward. I don't know if there's a creepypasta of it. It's just a video of him, like his eyes are, you know, creepy. I remember being scared about it, I think. I think I'll try to search for it. The Flying Dutchman. What's that? Official episode? Yeah, I think that's it. That was a story about it. And otay. That was just a short creepypasta telling where SpongeBob got trapped in rock bottom. If you want another creepypasta someday again, another storytelling from me. The Green Ghost Pirates and SpongeBob? Oh. Oh, that one? Oh yeah, I can imagine what it looked like. One of those pirates. Definitely. Sure, why not? Sleep is overrated anyways. Well, I think you can still sleep though. It's not that scary. It was just creepy. It just makes your mind think. The mind boggles. Is it if I didn't fall asleep? Well, I'll try to look for a scary one, but you know, sometimes I also don't read it. Yeah, it's thought-provoking. That's true. It only kicks in when you're alone at 2 AM. And when it's dark. And when it's quiet. You look over at the edge of your bed. I mean, the very end of your bed, and you think about, will someone come out of there and peek at you? That would be me. I would be asking, where's my Catto food? You read the creepypasta once about the terminally online basement dweller? Receiving an email and going crazy, what? Well, I don't know that. But this was nice. Thank you so much for listening to me. I shall tell you more someday. I mean, just some more creepypasta. We'll see. My fave from what you've read is the first one. It's always scary when the product is against themselves or their own mind. I know, right? I also loved it too. For the first one. Yeah, which one is your favorite? I appreciate you. Oh, thank you for listening. Just like the shining on the thing. Anything from my voice? Huh? The shining on the thing. Which one is your favorite? We had the diner special, the copycats, and the truth behind SpongeBob. But yeah, definitely my first one is my favorite. It's the prologue against themselves. That was really good. That was written by Angelina God. Like the diner and the copycats too. Like definitely the first one could be really off a movie, you know? The mood, it set the mood so much. For you, it's copycats because it got that Mandela catalog vibe to it. You know what? I don't know that. Why do you think it's one of those videos? Like the diner and the copycats, the one about the purple cat girl, me? Me telling you, creepypasta, that's your favorite. That's true, it's just weird and creepy, that's it. I mean, it's a good ad. It's a good add to it about reading something else about what you know with SpongeBob. Skinwalker's always creepy. I don't know anything about that though, but I think it's kind of like copycats. They trick you to get out or something. Thank you, Angy. I hope this won't give you nightmares. Don't take much into it. You know, if you get used to it, you won't get sad you won't get scared anymore. The SpongeBob one is not scary, it's sad. That's true. That's what I thought too. It's just we were finding out about their miserable life. What if you meet yourself in real life? Okay, I'll tell you about this. I think I saw myself back then, like the copycat of me. I don't know. I think it's just my mind. I don't know how it ended up. I think I really did saw myself back then. It was at home. I don't remember much. Yeah, gasp. It's one of those creepy horror stories about. For me, that if someone would ask me what's the scary story that you could tell to friends, or if they ask you, do you have any scary moments in life? I think I would say I saw myself. That's it. You met your doppelganger already way back and she's more successful than me? What? How? Are you sure it wasn't the mirror? It wasn't. I came from the laundry and then I went in, and then at the table, at the dining, I saw myself there. And she also looked at me. I don't remember. There was another person there though, but maybe I was just imagining. And then probably I was also paranoid. That's it. I most likely was paranoid. That one for sure. Mom, she gets 2 Angys? You would like to have 2 Angys? Anyo. Purple dog? Didn't know that. Are you angry right now? Dun dun dun. I am. Don't worry, you're getting the real one. Don't worry, I'm the real one. But what if you saw yourself once, but the difference was that it was a shadow walking on its own across the dark living room? How did you know it was you in a shadow form? Crazy. Real Angy for real. What do I have to do to let you know I'm the real one? Do I meow? Meow. Do I reach out for Machi and tell you I'm the real mama? Machi! I don't think it was you, Angy. Oh shit, who is that? Scowy. Scariest night of my life. It makes me want to hear stories from Pretos. Like, what was your scariest moment? If Kaido and Machi purr for you, then you're the real Nyarigatoo. Yuta! So scary, your mind went black and my body went on autopilot. Creepy. I wanna hear more from Pretos. Does anyone else have a scary moment of your life? I don't know about ghosts though. I don't know about ghosts. Maybe someday I can talk about it. Pretos scary experience. No, a car accident. Oh no. Oh gosh. Yeah, maybe that's okay too. We could hear about tragedies. A scary, close tragedy. For me, you were alone at home, but you saw and heard someone knocking at your door with your dad's voice. Never talk to a skinwalker. Well, isn't that skinwalker is like for international monsters? I don't think we have that kind of monster in like part of the folklore in the Philippines. That's creepy. Let's do this around the campfire, Angy. You write our stories and read it? Otay. I'll try to make one. Is it like going to be a form, a Google form, and then you answer it? Hehe. I'll make a Google form and then you answer your creepy stories. He got T-boned by a cab cause he beat the red light. Oh my god. I'm glad you're safe. Oh, I'm glad you're here with us, dude. Here in peace, but back in your dream. Oh, creepy. Spooky Google Toki. Oh, Amaro. Okay, so Amaro's also weird because I don't use it, but I do have one. Glad to be here too. Yes, we're grateful you're here with us. Skinwalkers are alien. Did you have a moment in your life you thought about aliens? Taxes are pretty scary. Oh no! Run away! See? Manchi meow, it's unreal. Mama. Anyways, this is starting to be a Zatsudan, but we're done with our creepypastas. Thank you so much. Hey, oh yeah, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet, and hope you enjoy listening to those who be watching the VOD or listening to it again. I'll try to do more, or you want me to do another one? Creepypasta? The pasta main was delicious. Wait, didn't that the monster said something about so delicious, so rich, so delicious? That's what he said. Wow. Wait. That last line. Where is it? I'm gonna read it again. before he left Helen. Oh, this part. This is the night you'll always remember, Helen. The night you stopped pretending. The night you finally became what you were always meant to be. She. Do you enjoy them? Then surely others will too. I do. I like reading it. It just... I'm just not sure how, I'm reading it. If it's up to, the quality of me reading it. I'm doing good with... I'm not good with voice acting and stuff. But I'm happy to read for Kratos. Helen's a great cook. Who's Clarice? It's November, need more creepy stuff before we go to happy December. Oh god, another creepy moment. It's almost done with, we're almost done with 2025. It didn't feel anything at all. It didn't feel like we moved or anything. We're just stuck in the moment. It's almost 2026. Why you cut your voice when you go into creepypasta reading mode? It's really cozy. Wow! Hehe. Aw, thank you. Ow! What'y? It's cozy in general, but it's lovely to hear you get into it. Hehe. Thank you. We are more closer to 2030 than 2020. Well, yeah, that's true. 2025 was a hell of a year. Every year, I guess. We just had Christmas yesterday and it's almost Christmas soon. Imaginary friends, they're a monster's house or creature. Anyways, it's time to rest up. I did stream Silent Hill F earlier. That was a good run. And today a creepypasta. We're done, so you hope 2026 gonna be different. You don't know what will happen in just a few months. So many things can change in just a year. Over a year. Under a year. Their first little company community game, like it was just yesterday. We could play again with Bertos. Maybe we can do repo, cause since there's a major update. So we'll do some belated happy Oshi Day. Oh, thank you. Why is Angy saying it like it's a threat? Which one? On you. I don't know what my Silent Hill F for later. Thank you. Otay. Interesting. I just ate half of my food for my dinner and then I prepped up. It's around the time where I started being active on your streams, Angy. Oh, thank you, Mojo. Do you know what will happen in next month? You won't know it? That's true though. I won't even know. You won't know. But that's true though. Anyways, ow. Maybe along with the creepypasta. Okay, I'll make tomorrow. I'll post it probably. So you can put your stories, like your creepy stories to me, and then like after creepypasta, we could talk about your stories after. So you could include like a creepypasta as well. Yep, that's the creepy part. Thanks for the background. Angy wasn't bored with your project. Yatta! Now it's time to eat. night though. They buried a monster under my bed. What? My bed is covered up. There's no space you can stay under my bed, so nope. The monster sleeps on top of my head. So that is Machi. And I'm not scared of this monster. This monster bites on my head. So, not really. I can live with this monster. And his name is Machi, my Catto. Otay. Time to eat pee. The dreaded hair eater. You heard that, Machi? Otay. Tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow we have a collab. It's a Counter-Strike. It's a CS2. Muhaha. There's a CS collab with Ramia, Mikumi, and Vivi. So Mikumi invited me to with Ramia and Vivi to play in CS2, and I haven't played in a while though. Oh, sleep tight. Hi, on you. Wait. Sit. Right back to esports. Well, I haven't played much in a while. Good luck on CS. I'll be practicing. I'll be practicing so I won't fail per dose. I've just been playing comfy games. When it's over, hi, we're done so. Well, let's go raid. Ooh. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Oh. Okay, let's do raid though. Thank you, Kami-sama. I'm ending now. Arigato. 見てくれてありがとう。おやすみ。We'll miss you. We have collabs in the next days. So collab tomorrow and also on Friday. On Yasumi, you did great storytelling. Yeah, I also did 2 streams today. Proud of me? Right. Okay. Arigato. Arigato. Arigato gozaimasu. Bye.